Hi everyone, Crystal here. Hope you guys are having an amazing day. I just wanted to share with you a couple ideas or ways that you can begin to address things that are triggering or where you feel like you're getting pulled into other people's stuff, especially when they're going through a really difficult time. And not only that, but also for ourselves. So when we get triggered, a trigger is actually a beautiful opportunity and a gift to actually move through the healing process and to have some closure and allow these memories that sort of like trigger something much deeper within us, usually from childhood, those kinds of things. And we don't even realize it's happening, but our response to the situation is greater than sort of what it would maybe be the norm in that situation. That's how we can know, is when we have an overreaction to something that later on, when you think about it, you realize, oh, maybe that wasn't quite as big, but it's an opportunity actually for us to see the need to heal. And so the way that you can do this is to begin by just simply becoming curious and by saying, that's interesting. Isn't it interesting that I responded to this person with a lot of anger? And to allow it. It's not that the emotion is bad. Of course, we don't always want to go off the handle with, when we're with people and that type of thing. But what we do want to do is begin that healing process. In order to do that, we need to move out of judgment. So sometimes we think, wow, I made such a big deal about this. Wow, I was being such a baby. Or maybe even other people might even say those kinds of things to you in the situation. What it is really is just the child part of us, or the part of us that needs some attention or healing, is crying out for help. It's actually a signal for us to pay attention. And so we want to begin to neutralize by simply saying, that's interesting. Isn't it interesting? Or isn't it interesting that so-and-so responded that way? That's interesting, right? I wonder what they could be going through. I wonder what I might be experiencing underneath the anger, right? So we begin to become curious, and that questioning allows the removal of judgment, and we bring in that whole piece around allowance. Allowance creates peace within the body and mind. Judgment actually creates more stress within the body and mind. And that stress is not helpful for us to be able to move forward through things. Another thing that can be really helpful here, by using the isn't that interesting type of thing, is when you hear something on the news, or maybe you had a flat tire, or somebody is sort of telling you about their own life and their story, and you can empathize with the person by saying, wow, I understand, like this is a really difficult thing, right? So we're validating them, but internally, in addition to the validation that whatever they're going through is what's real for them, it doesn't mean that it's your reality. And so you don't have to come in under that as part of your reality. In fact, you actually have the opportunity to remain empathetic, which is compassion, is understanding, offering that. It's actually a higher level of consciousness, because when we find ourselves in these kinds of situations, we often move into the, why is this happening to me? Who is to blame for this? God did this to me, right? All of these kinds of things. And so we stay within a victim state. So it's not to say that we're not a victim of a situation or an experience, because we all have had those kinds of experiences. But to remain in the state where I have no power, that is what we want to shift from. We want to shift out of a victim consciousness or a victim mentality. And sometimes we can move into that just by hearing all the negative stuff on the news. And so in order for us to begin to remain a little bit more neutral and detached, we can simply say, isn't that interesting? Wow, that's very interesting. It's not to downplay what is happening, but it's important for us to understand that that is not necessarily a part of our personal reality, but it is what someone else is going through. So we may feel called to action, but from a place of compassion and understanding. We may feel called to be able to have a conversation with someone and to offer them our deep empathy, not sympathy. Sympathy is, oh, you poor thing, you are helpless, you can't do anything for yourself, that type of thing. It kind of, we have that, we can sort of think that somebody needs saving in this way, and they don't actually. It's not helpful for them. Would you want sympathy from somebody and for somebody just to say, oh, you poor dear? Or would you like to experience someone who might come alongside you and say, wow, that is really difficult, and I'm sorry that this is such a challenging situation, right? So I'm here for you. I want to support you, right? So we can maintain that higher level of consciousness, which actually invites the person to come up and into a new level of consciousness in the situation that we're in the situation that they are in right now. And that can help them shift out of their reality into something new, while you maintain where you are in your heart space, and at the same time you're offering a new level of consciousness or awareness for them to come into. It's much more empowering this way. And so by using the words even just internally, if I have a flat tire or something goes wrong with my car, or somebody's late, for something, isn't that interesting? We then are no longer attached to the situation and like, why is this happening to me? So it actually helps us to shift out of sort of that victim state or victim mentality. And in this way, then we begin to neutralize. And when we can neutralize, we're not giving our power away to something else, but we're maintaining our own energy. And from the place of, that's interesting, I'm curious, I wonder what this person might be going through that would cause them to respond to me in this way, right? So that neutralization of just using curiosity and that's interesting can really support us in so many ways, in our relationships, in our life situations. And when we are neutral, we also then begin to say, or we have the ability to say, what would I like to experience from this? So what level of awareness or consciousness am I wanting to be within or to move in? And so it allows for us to begin to take steps forward instead of allowing ourselves to be completely undone by a situation. So I hope that is really helpful for you today, and use it. Let me know how it works. Take care. Mwah. Many blessings. Bye for now.